Hello, this is the practice for today, the podcast from SBS News, the morning's edition of 9th of May 2024. In this bulletin, the United States pauses a shipment of bombs for Israel. A manhunt underway after a woman was allegedly stabbed by a man known to her outside a gym. And in sport, the Olympic flame lands on French soil. New South Wales police are searching for a man who is alleged to have stabbed a woman outside a gym in Sydney South. Emergency services responded to the stabbing around midday yesterday. The woman was transferred to a nearby hospital suffering multiple stab wounds, and her condition is stable. Police say they believe the perpetrator is a 40-year-old man who had previously been in a romantic relationship with the woman. Detective Superintendent Rodin Hart has given a description of the detectives at the moment are attempting to obtain an arrest warrant for this male. So until that happens, unfortunately, I cannot release his details. But what I can say is, we are looking for a male person, aged 40 years old. He's about 170 to 175 centimeters tall, of muscular to solid build. He has dark hair, possibly a dark beard. Australian federal police are working with Mexican authorities to bring justice for two brothers killed during a surfing trip in Mexico. Originally from Perth, Callum and Jack Robinson were on a surfing trip with their American friend Carter Road when they failed to check into a pre-arranged accommodation near the city of Ensenada. Foreign Minister Penny Wong says Australia's embassy in Mexico will continue to work with federal police and local authorities. The United States has paused a shipment of bombs directed for Israel out of concern it could be used during their ground incursion on Rafah. Despite multiple warnings not to proceed with their military operation in Gaza South, Israel has now taken control of the Rafah border crossing that separates Gaza with Egypt. Israel's chief military spokesman, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, spoke highly of his country's cooperation with the U.S. The security assistance of the United States since the beginning of the war is of unprecedented scale, I think, in the history of the State of Israel. Alongside this, there is something more important than security assistance, which is the operational assistance. The partnership of the IDF with the American Central Command, CENTCOM, is of unprecedented operational scale. Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong is set to announce a $110 million package to Tuvalu, addressing the nation's immediate priorities. The funding is set to be allocated towards establishing the first underwater communications cable, extending the Tuvalu Coastal Adaptation Project, and other vital projects for the nation's development. Ms. Wong is also set to sign an explanatory referendum with the Tuvalu Foreign Minister Paulson Panapa, outlining how the key objectives of the Falapili Union will be achieved. The Falapili Union is a bilateral treaty between Australia and Tuvalu aimed towards uplifting the relationship of the two countries. And politicians have condemned a move by Western Sydney Council to ban books featuring same-sex parenting. Anti-Discrimination New South Wales says it's deeply concerned after Cumberland City Council narrowly passed a motion to remove materials featuring same-sex parenting from its libraries. The band has also placed state funding for Cumberland City Council, which covers a population of around 240,000 people near Parramatta, under threat. New South Wales Arts Minister John Grant says local councillors should not engage in censorship. I am concerned about this situation. Look, the view I take is this. It's up to readers to decide which book they pull down from the library shelf. It's not up to local councillors to tell them what to read, to choose for them. That's a fundamental principle here. It's also a fundamental principle in the Public Library Act. Taking a look at sports news now, and the Olympic flame has landed on French soil, arriving in the southern port city of Marseille after a 12-day trip from Greece. The flame traveled on board the Bellum, a 128-year-old three-masted tall ship that once transported sugar from France's colonies in the West Indies to the metropole. French President Emmanuel Macron says the Games celebrate peace. The flame is on French soil. It's the end of several years of preparation, and it's still very emotional for me to remember July 2017 when we won the right to host the 2024 Olympic Games in Lausanne. And we were here in September. A few weeks later, nothing was ready. And today, the flame arrives, the games arrive, and enter the lives of the French people. And that is all the latest SBS news. Also, here is the end of this practice.